Hello. How are we doing? First, I don't know. I'm gonna. Might have to take down that the chat box that's in the corner because that's wrong for some reason. Don't know what's going on with OBS, but it's being weird. So I guess we'll just put this chat box away. It's gone. How are we all doing? We all good? Today we've got a new toy to play with for the music. We've got the new loop machine, so that's fun. So we're gonna be doing that, and obviously drinking the wine. I hope everyone's okay. Checking in from work. I hope this is worth slacking off your work for. Cocktail and cookies ready to go. That's what we like to see. Welcome HLW for first time you've caught a stream. That's brilliant. Everyone can hear me okay. I'm coming through okay. Not too bad. Yeah, everyone's all right. Cool. So I guess we'll just get it started. Crack open the wine and see if we've got terrible wine today or a good wine. Work sucks, yeah. Don't we all know it? Today we've got another on deal wine. Hello from Kanukistan. All right. Well, we love to see that. I was thinking about like how long it's been since I last did that, and it's way too long. Today's wine comes to you again from the Sainsbury's reduced style, and Sainsbury's sponsor me. Comes from the Sainsbury's reduced style. This one was down from £8.75 to £6.50. So I mean, this is fancy wine. We're almost at the £10 wine, sort of £10 wine level here. So we'll see. It's Languedoc. It's white wine. And we'll see if it's bad, as is tradition. You know, like Philosophy Tube has our thing of being like lighting a candle at the start of every stream, and mine is cracking the wine and seeing if it's terrible. We've all got our brands. Oh my god, it's corked. I'm gonna have to leave you. While I uncork this wine. There's not even a screw to it. Fuck it. We're getting bougie today. Give me 5 minutes and I'll be right back. Hold on, I think I have a screen for back soon. There we go. Alright, we're back. We're back and the wine is uncorked. We are reaching Fancy Town tonight with the fucking cork wine. I don't know. Now if this one's bad after all that, I'm going to be bitterly disappointed. Yeah, ooh la la. Let's see. Okay, not as good as last week's. Last week's was actively nice, but it's not bad. This is a decent wine, I'd say. A solid 7 out of 10. You know, can't complain. Not too disappointed, despite the cork implying it was going to be very fancy. But we're doing okay. Did anyone watch Sophie from Mars' newest? Not watched it. I read a quote for it. I read the voice of George Galloway in that, but not watched it yet. Read over some of the script, but didn't manage to read it all because it's very long. Watched it. We've already been what the wine is. But let me read it again for those sommeliers in the chat. Sorry if I'm a bit lethargic as well. I've just had 3 baked tatties, so I'm a bit full up. I'm full of tatty, full of potato. So I'll be a bit slow to get started here. But this is it's another Sainsbury's. I think it's another Sainsbury's Taste of Difference, but a different Sainsbury's Taste of Difference than last time. Last time's was a Bordeaux, and that was nice. That was really nice. This one's a Sainsbury's Taste of Difference. I think it is, but it's Languedoc. Languedoc Appellation d'Origine Protégée. Don't know what that means, but produce of France, so it's French, and it's Kian. There it is. There he is in chat, firing off the clean shirts. Welcome, Kian. We were just talking about wine, and the types of it. I accidentally bought corked wine. Alright, okay, so we're just starting on the clean shirt fucking memes already here. How do I get my shirt so clean? I've not actually worn this shirt for a long time. Hey, wine man, that's right. This is nice wine. I think I can polish off this bottle. Not got, as ever, no plans for today. Nothing specific to talk about. Just here to chill out. Firing questions from chat, whatever. And fuck about with this new pedal, which is extremely fun. I've actually got three new pedals now, technically, because my last lip pedal acts as a delay and reverb pedal as well, so that's fun. And we've got the bass one. It's white wine, Kian, don't worry. This shirt is very clean. It's so clean I've not worn it in about 3 years. Only good wine comes from Californian grapes. Okay. I don't know enough about wine to contest that, to know if it's a shitpost or legit opinion. The only sort of wine chat I know about is Riley from Trash Future's microclimate Canadian wine shit. He tried to tell me one time. He tried to tell me how to do good wine. How to find good wine, and I forgot it immediately. I forgot everything he said because I don't care that much. And it's more fun. Like sometimes you buy a wine and you're like, this one's £6, let's see if it's good, and then it is. It's a little treat. And then sometimes it's terrible, and you get the fun of drinking a terrible wine from in front of how many folk are in chat? I don't know, because my fucking YouTube thing is going weird. 25, in front of 25 people. What's Dylan Moran's wine scale? I like Dylan Moran. Have I tried white wine and tonic recently? Nope. I had sangria over the last weekend. I went up to Glasgow last weekend to see some old friends, and my friend had greeted me in his flat with a jug of sangria and a bottle of champagne to celebrate cracking that 20,000 subscriber. Oh, we've not been here since 20,000. I guess we could say there's a 20,000 subscriber celebration stream. Fuck that. Yeah, we could do whatever we want here. We could do what we want. This fucking 20,000 subscribers celebration stream. Fuck it. We're doing that. He greeted me with a jug of sangria and a big fucking bottle of champagne to celebrate that, which was fun. Then he immediately said that he's never going to do it again because he didn't realise it cost so much effort to make sangria. It was fun. And then we spent the next 2 days drinking gin, which was also fun. It was very nice. And it was such good weather in Glasgow as well that the sangria didn't even feel that out of place, which is odd for Glasgow. We did go by the we went by anyone from Glasgow? Anyone? Let's do the comedy bit. Who here is in from Glasgow? Anyone in from Glasgow? We went to Glasgow has in Kelvin Grove Park. There's like a big specific hill where everyone congregates to do their drinking and their barbecuing as soon as it gets above like 15 degrees. And we went by that just to check out what carnage of the first fucking Alky Hill day of the season had wrought, and it was really nice. Thank you everyone in chat for celebrating 20k with me, and Anisha for drinking gin. We do like a gin. A gin, especially on a hot day, goes down a fucking treat. I prefer gin. What? There's one type of alcohol I have any real preference for, and that's whiskey. And aside from that, I will drink anything that was set in front of me, which is probably not the healthiest, but it does make ordering at the bar easier. I think we had Botanist. The gin that we had at my friend, so me and the person I was visiting up in Glasgow have a mutual friend who works at a brewery, a distillery, and he's now taken over gin production somewhere in Spain. So he's this free bottle of Spanish gin or something. I don't know. It was nice. Although my friend did make a fucking measure of this gin. We'd been drinking gin for like 10 hours at this point, and we went back to his flat, and we were just drinking more gin. And the first drink he made up for me, I took like 2 sips of it and was like spitting fire, and I was like, so what the fuck have you given me? And he was like, yeah, it's bad. We've added way too much gin here, and that knocked him out for the night. Hendrick gin. Jared, Scottish whiskey. I had a nice Welsh whiskey once, which was good, but I specifically I kind of like West Coast whiskey is nice, and I really like the PT West Coast whiskey specifically. Talisker stuff, it's really good. It's just that it's the one alcohol that I can actually like feel like I have some competence when someone asks me like what I'm looking for in a drink of it, and I'm like, oh, what's something smoky, West Coast, maybe Talisker. So I think that's I can actually say that. Bombay Sapphire. Kieran, I don't know. You seem like a Bombay Sapphire kind of guy, if I'm being totally honest. Yeah, so that was fun. That was a fun bit of weekend. I needed a break, so it was good to get up and see my friends. Unfortunately, I didn't get to. We were meant to meet another friend, and I was excited because I wanted to meet his dog, but we didn't get around to seeing his dog, which was a shame. Yeah, to wine. Bucky, I've not had Buckfast in so long. I think it's quite nice, to be honest. I quite like a Buckfast. I mean, when was the last time I did Buckfast? It's so long ago. I feel like it's an annoying thing because you get a lot of fucking people who do the Buckfast and they're like they like really posh folk who do Buckfast and they're like, oh, look at us, we're being like transgressive, we're being just like the chavs, drinking Buckfast. It's like, fuck you fucking pricks. Like, and so that kind of tarnishes the enjoyment of Buckfast, that sort of attitude. But if you want to have like a specific kind of night, it's, I mean, basically wine, it's more like port. Port is its closest cousin. Like a tonic wine, a fortified wine. It's quite nice. I mean, the problem is it's quite expensive and it's not huge on alcohol content. It's just if you want to have like a specific and stupid night and get a group and do some Buckfast and you'll get ready for some fucking stupidity that's gonna happen. I remember one of the time we were Buckfast, I got thrown down a hill by someone, which wasn't great. It's like full of spiky bushes. I'm blasting a €5 €5 bottle of wine. I'm aware that my taste in alcohol is legendary. That God bless. Like what PBR is to beer, hipster cool? Not really. Like you wouldn't drink a hipster sort of cool wouldn't drink Buckfast. It's more like a sort of really posh person might drink it to pretend that they're doing something that the working classes do or something like that. But it is nice and it is fun, and it does get you. It's like hyped up on caffeine, so it does get you in a fighting mood if you're that disposed. Sorry, we should maybe this is a very alcohol heavy chat so far. We'll move on at some point. Seagrams. I don't know what that is, but it sounds intriguing. Bag in a box, that's efficiency. I mean, I like a bag of wine. I've had a bag of wine. I remember one time I was went to university, sort of went on this trip to Italy, and we had a bag of wine on that bus on the way down to Italy, and it made the first half of the journey fly by. It was a delight. But waking up after having drank a bag of wine and still in a bus is not great. It's not a great feeling. Hungover in a bus, winding up through the Alps. But the first half was good. First half of the journey was good. Just got your top wisdom teeth taken out. Luckily I was born without bottom wisdom teeth. Ooh. Solidarity to that, because fuck, getting teeth removed is shit, especially wisdom teeth. Mine are kind of, my top ones are there, my bottom ones are kind of there but not quite there, and they're kind of threatening me if they come in at a weird angle. But yeah, fuck that. I've had so many teeth removed in my life and orthodontic work. Luckily, got my orthodontic work on the NHS because my teeth were a significant health risk, because they were incredibly. There were so many of them. I looked like a shark. They couldn't come out. It was a mess in there, and then had to get a whole lot removed. So I sympathise with teeth removals. Michelle, no one has to apologise for being late. There is no fucking time scale to this. We are pissing about. This is not real content. This is me fucking speaking into the void and drinking wine and occasionally fucking about on a guitar. This is not anything you've got to worry about being late for. Yeah, my teeth tried to kill me. Absolutely. That's what happened. It was bad. They revolted. Am I into MMA or wrestling? No, sorry. none of that stuff. I remember we used to watch wrestling when we were kids. I think it used to be on the TV, but not really. Yeah, orthodontic work was bad. I think my teeth were so stereotypically like bad, and then got very good because of the orthodontic treatment, that my before and after pictures were being used in Edinburgh University's orthodontics treatment for a while. I don't know if it's still being used, but the orthodontist afterwards was like, I'm going to use your face in lectures, your teeth in lectures, because they were so bad, and because he did a good job of fixing them, because they were bad. The first thing he said to me, this orthodontist, charming man, I was sent over to his and was like sitting on the chair waiting for him to come in, fucking skinny, spotty teenager, terrible teeth, self-conscious as hell, and this fucking guy walks in and goes, "Oh my god, you look like a shark, Jesus," and I was just like, oh man, why would you say that to me? I'm 14. This is not a good thing to say to a 14-year-old. But you know, a couple of years and they were fine. Oh, COB. We can talk about academia. Let me just take another fucking swig of wine before we go down that route. So depending where you are, if you're in the UK, this is going to be more specific, in other places less so. Favourite things first of all, because let's start positive. I love doing the work. I clearly anyone who's on the channel knows that I'm interested in a whole lot of stuff, and I love researching, I love writing, and that stuff's great and interesting. And I very much enjoy it. I like teaching. I've not been teaching all that long, but I've only taught master's students because my university doesn't have undergrads. But I really like the teaching. So the actual job, the actual work, that stuff, great. Problems, fuck you, Cian. Cian, why don't you send another block of text in the group chat if you're talking about nerds. The worst parts are the increasing neoliberalisation of it, not to be on brand, but like the increasing the ways in which the university has turned it marketised and turned into this fucking bullshit factory. Things like, so for example, one of the reasons why UCU, the unions, are striking right now, there's two. There's two types of strikes. There's ones that are against the pensions, but there's other types of universities that don't have the pension problem, and they're striking for things like, so a friend of mine works at a university, and previously to new reforms, his job involved him producing 3 pieces of research assessment available publications within 5 years. So basically 3 research papers over 5 years, and that would secure his job. Now he has to produce 5 alongside a plan on how to influence policy over the next 5 years, and a plan of how to do public engagement over the next 5 years. And if he doesn't, if the research committee doesn't like this plan, then his funding could be cut, he could lose his job, and they'll farm out any teaching to an underpaid or maybe even not paid PhD student. And things like that are the worst parts of academia for sure. Yeah, low pay, insecure contracts. People have this image of academics being well off, sort of ivory tower folks. Especially in the UK, academia right now is low pay, extremely insecure, and just built off free labour. It's a shit state of affairs. So you have all these people who love doing the work, and are fascinated and fascinating, who love teaching and love talking to students, but who are fucked over by just a terrible system. Yeah, fuck. lots of fuck dimensions of it. I hope that answers your question. I hope it doesn't necessarily put you off doing it, because, you know, there are reasons to do it. I mean, there are reasons why people leave as well, that I've just talked about. But it is, I do love doing it, and there's a reason why I've not quit my PhD to try and do something else. It's because I think this is something I would like to do and love to do with my life. And there's also, you know, the broader sort of systemic, like the academy is a way to commodify knowledge and things like that. Like, we're not going to imply that the university as an institution was good previous to these reforms. It's always had issues, but the actual, I like doing the work. Lots of things came in there. Won't quite get the chance to answer them all, but I like that. Yeah, we'll get a new loop. Let's get a new loop. Let's see what we can do. What are we feeling loop-wise? What kind of stuff are we after? Kind of let's see what we can come up with. Do something more chill, more dancey. I don't know. Let's take a look. what do I think of that? That's some nice chill stuff for it. Yeah, that's a nice bit of chill we can. And we don't have to. The good thing about this new loop pedal, somebody asked me in the chat, what there's a new pedal. The new pedal is called a JTC drum looper, I think. Which is the new pedal, which is very fun, and it's got a much longer. Oh, can we? I noticed that the mic was a bit down low there. Much longer fucking loop time, so I can actually have some variation in there, and it's not just the same thing over and over again. Yeah, this is the new loop that we'll have this on in the background. How long have I been playing? How old am I? I'm nearly 28. Oh my god. I started when I was about 10, so about nearly 18 years. Oh, I just got hit with a wave of age. I was about to say nearly 20 years at that point. Fucking hell. Oh, not yet, Books and D, not yet. I'm sure we'll get there. JTC more like JTD, exactly. Why can't they have contacted me about branding? Yeah. Let's catch up on chat. What's people been saying in chat? Anything that I want to stick my head into? Hey, same age. Born in 1994, exactly. Yeah, that's where we are. It's my birthday in just over a month. Yeah, almost 28. 28. I feel like 30. 28 seems like it's in the sort of 30 range. I don't think actually hitting 30 will be that of an issue for me, but like I feel like 28 and being not particularly secure at 28, as in not being secure at all and still being in education, I'd quite like to be secure enough, or at least not in education anymore by the time I'm 30. Yeah, end of September. Good luck. Oh man, Vosh. I don't fucking. Vosh can go fuck himself. I don't give a shit about Vosh. Anything I've got to say about the topic of Vosh has been said in about two videos at this point. You know my opinions. 28, you're 30. That's right. So you're 20 until you're 25, and then until you're 28, you're still 25. And then you're 30 from about 28 until like 37, and from 37, you can stop keeping track at that point because time's a flat circle and it doesn't matter. Yeah. Hey, what's up? I'm sorry, my contact lenses are fucking up, so I can't read the chat names very well from over here. But there's that Praspereda G. Welcome. Yeah. It's not really. It's. I just feel like it'd be nice to have some semblance of security in my life. It would be a nice sort of thing to have, and it's been like since like the pandemic. It hit badly during the pandemic when I was back living with my parents, and I was 25 when I moved back, and my parents, and I turned 27 before leaving, and both those 26th and 27th birthdays of like still living with my parents and being like, ah fuck, I'm in my teenage bedroom and I'm turning 27. That was not a great feeling, and like being insecure enough to know, like, sort of not not emotionally, but like just sort of generally insecure enough to know that I could end up back at my parents. And it's not like terrible there, and my brother just moved back with my mum and dad as well, but that's because he got a job close by and was saving up to try and move in with his girlfriend. So there's sort of different context and stuff, but you know, there's things. It's not always reasonable. I'm not saying it's correct, but those are just things that sort of pop in and mull about your head when age happens and our society deems that youth is the paramount thing and you must have achieved things by certain ages. You know, that shit creeps up on you sometimes despite knowing it's there. It's not good, it's not positive, but it happens. Oh, Michelle, long-term security, I'm thinking about like a year's worth of security. Long-term security, like I said earlier, I'm trying to get into academia. Long-term security is not on the cards at this point. How many years until graduation? Ideally I'd want to have my full submission of the finished PhD by this time next year, and then it just depends on what happens with fivers and corrections and but the graduation isn't as big a deal as just sort of getting the thing done and trying to get a job, which is on the cards. EJ said we need a leftist destiny, we ended up with Fosh. Oof. Oh, that's a curse. That's a fucking monkey paw scenario there, isn't it? Yeah. Sorry, not to bring everyone down. These are supposed to be the chill zone, not the fucked zone. But we're in the fucked zone. Yeah. I feel like I've ended up with one level of security quite early, but also it still doesn't feel like to translate to long-term security. Yeah. I mean, I it's a kind of we're in a situation now where the notion of long-term security, it's like that fucking Simpsons joke, eh? Like, in a where he's telling, you know, the episode where Homer's talked about the story of Maggie getting born, and he quits his job, and when he goes back, Mr. Burns gives him a plaque that says, "Don't worry, you'll be here forever" or something. And back then that was like a condemnation, working one job you hate forever. And now it's just got generations of people going, fuck, imagine having a job, that level of job security. It's a very different sort of hell. I'm not saying the one previously wasn't necessarily better, it was still a kind of hell, but just a different kind of hell. Thank you, was that Dire? Thank you, Dire Circumstances. I like the difference there between the lovely comment and the the fitting username for what we were just talking about. Yeah, fuck the world. Fuck the world. I'm gonna pour another wine. I feel like in these streams I come up with like t-shirt, sort of novelty t-shirt slogans all the time. Fuck the world, I'm gonna drink some wine. Like, that's a fucking wine mum t-shirt that you could make at least £200-300 off of easily. Fucking sell it to some 40-year-old wine mums. How do we get bigger egos? How do we get better leaders in the public eye when the norm is big ego business boys? Hey, thank you for the super chat, Solaro C. Thank you. I don't think we need we don't need leaders in the public eye. That's not the thing that we should be striving for. A sort of public eye focused form of politics is always going to benefit people with egos. I mean, I'm fucking sitting streaming my face to YouTube. I make YouTube videos. I implicitly, I am basically imply that people need to hear what I have to say and then broadcast it to them. So there's obviously an ego at work here. This is not the way to build a political sort of movement for this sort of thing, because we've all got egos. The leaders, we shouldn't be leading like that. When you're working on the ground and organising, leaders kind of emerge not through that. I mean, not to say you don't get egos in that organising, because you fucking do, but that's like if you're focused on public eye sort of leaders, that you're always going to get the egos. People who are just focused on the work are sort of what you should be doing. Yeah, like you say, public eye politics is going to be very driven by market logic. It is. Some would say we would have to reject the terms of order. Some might say that, Keane. But some might want to be clear in what they're trying to say, and not just fill up their chat with jargon. I don't know why I'm so confrontational with you on streams. It just feels like the right thing to do. I feel like I wouldn't be this confrontational with other friends in chat, but you being here makes me, I don't know, I feel like I want to be confrontational with you. We need bottom-up community organisation, and dual power structures make our communities more democratic and less reliant on the state and capital. Succinctly put. John, how does it feel having the superpower to appeal to the interests of wine mums everywhere? Well, so this is a thing, actually. Middle-aged women have always really liked me, and I think it's because I've remind them of their sons or something. But like I've worked like lots of jobs and like reception jobs in various different places, and like are on phones to places, and it always without fail get like the middle-aged and older women just come by and be like, oh, there's a lovely lad on reception, or like old women like I'd spoken to on the phone would come by the office and be like, where's the lovely lad that we spoke to on the phone? I don't know, they seem to like me. I must have a good manner for middle-aged to older women to just sort of want to look after me. I don't know what it is. They seem to want to, like, one example being, I remember working at a doctor's office, and one of the patients, this older woman, found out that it was my birthday and bought me this like Lynx, which for Americans is like the equivalent of Axe. Like it was like a Lynx body spray and shower gel set. I was like, I just needed to, I couldn't see a lovely young lad like yourself not have a birthday present. I was like, thank you. I think they just like must want to look after me or something. I must look like frail and scared or something. It's weird. I don't know, man. It's weird. I don't know where this story was going or what is. It's dialectics here in two things. Yeah. It's because you're a very handsome young man. Yeah, that's exactly right. I think it is because like they must just think that I'm a little bit lost or a little bit needing of looking after or something. It's very weird. And then there's the other side of that was the horrible hen party dynamic when I worked in a nightclub. That was a very different kind of middle-aged woman that treated you in a very different way, basically just sexually harassing you, sexually assaulting you really, when you're working in a nightclub and hen parties are around. Never trust a hen party. That's what I say. Should we try another track? Move on to something else. This one's been quite nice, but we could maybe try and get some more funk going on. I'm getting drunk, feeling the funk. It's a friendly face, thank you. Getting drunk, feeling the funk. We're gonna make some funk. I definitely project vulnerability. I don't know if that's an insult or not. I don't know if that's an insult or not. Like I'm not like small. I'm a big guy. Like maybe it's hard to tell when you're sitting down, but like I'm a large man. So I don't know if vulnerability is maybe the thing that most people initially like see. I remember first time I met one of my friends. He said. I walked around the corner of this Airbnb that we were in, and I walked around the corner and he goes, "Oh fucking hell, you're like a monster." So, I don't know if vulnerability is necessarily the thing that appears when people see me. Yeah, let's do some funk. As someone who used to work reception at a medical office, a lot of the older patients like to dote on friendly young staff members because they miss their kids, grandkids. Oh, well, that's just maybe kind of sad, but I get that, yeah. Yeah. Time for some funk. Okay, let's try something. Oh fuck, I fucked that one up now. There we go. That's a fun wee thing. Yeah, that's a fun wee thing to chill us out a bit after some some chat about cougars apparently. Hell, but Stu Funky have gotten up. Downing can't get up. I'll see you later, Quink. Yeah. Prosperadagy. Yeah, that's the music, the title music and stuff. The stuff I would make. Who am I saying music? People ask me this. I don't know what the answer to that question is. I'm afraid. Every time it's just like, there's always like, there's always like, things like, obviously things like Strokes are clearly and things like that. But you know, Radiohead and unfortunately Queens of the Stone Age, given Joshua Homey's the recent shit with him being a horrible bastard, has come to light. But I was always massively into Queens of the Stone Age. Someone mentioned John Frusciante earlier. Yeah, I loved a bit of Red Hot Chili Peppers. Always was well into sort of blues and jazz as well. Yeah. I can't tell if this wine is growing on me or I'm disliking it more. Just view the rest of the stream from the floor. I once recorded a podcast from lying on this bed with the microphone angled close to my face because I was too hungover to sit up. Yeah, fuck Joshua Homey. Yeah, fuck Joshua Homey. New music. I really like Jesse Ware's last album. When did that come out? Was that like 2020 or 2019? No, he didn't kick another journalist in the face. He's he'd been abusing his wife and children. A horrible bastard. Yeah. New music. I've vibing a lot of Emily King recently as well. Emily King, Jessie Ware. What other new music? I don't know. I can never tell what's Real Lies I've been into. I went to see Real. Has anyone heard of Real Lies? They're quite good. Saw them a few weeks ago. I went and we sort of looked up, and they're kind of in a similar kind of vein to things like Young Fathers, who are also fucking great. Yeah, that sort of stuff I'm well into. New music. I don't really keep up with what's out now. It's just like things that pop up on Spotify, so it might be old, but it's new to me. Shit like that. Myself tried to learn the piano off YouTube in a slow progress. So I learned classical guitar in school for years. But like the rest of the stuff was so not really self-taught, but that stuff wasn't necessarily taught. Hey Aronok, welcome to the stream. Anyone who's here who's not subscribed to Aronok should subscribe. Yeah, welcome to. We're just vibing. Made some music. Most of the way through a bottle of wine, and we're just vibing. These things don't tend to have any structure. It's me playing some music and then responding to things that I see interesting in the chat, which doesn't mean that if I don't respond to you, I find your thing you've said very boring. Although it might mean that, you don't know. Vibes are good, yeah. I might go back and change up the track in a second, because this one. Oh, I've gone. Okay, we're just gonna be flushed out white for a while. As long as my Wi-Fi holds, Oh, vibe. Well, look, we love to see it. What isn't boring these days? Yeah, let's change up the track, see what we can make. I did a wee fuck up. But we're fixing it. Don't worry. There we go. That's some. That was. It took its time to get there, but it got there. Try to. There we go. Okay. Yeah. And we're back. What should we talk about? What should we talk about, chat? What's on the brain? What's on everyone's brain? Wonder if there's a chat roulette for musicians to join. Is it Omegle? Is 50% sure it's on the album's Angels album from Strokes? Could be. I used to listen to that album a lot when I was like, fuck, when did that album come out? When I was like 18? Fucking hell. I've seen like lots of rappers, lots of like social media rappers and like TikTok rappers using Omegle and like filming it and being to amaze whoever they're rapping at. You know that sort of seen any good movies lately? We'll get to that in 1 second. Have I seen any good movies lately? A trip to France coming up. That's exciting. I think a lot of these sort of rappers that start doing that do the rapping off the dome shit, a lot of the time feels really shit. It feels really shit. 2011. Okay, so I was 17. That was close. Good guess. It feels like a lot of it is like they rhyme words in like the similar way, and the flow is really shit. Listen to me talking about the flow. Who do I think I am? Talking about the flow of a rapper. Fuck you, John. Get a grip. But it just, it doesn't. Folk like Harry Mack, it just doesn't sound good. And when they do it, it's like, it's like a party trick. It's not good in itself. Good movies. What movies have I seen recently? I can't remember what the last movie I watched was. Not movies, but I've watched I've been watching the series, the Dropout series, about the terrible CEO of Akala. Yeah, no, to be fair enough. Akala is fucking great. Yeah, that Fire in the Booth shit is fucking incredible. Red Kimmy, you're right. Like, the delay is probably an issue for jamming stuff. Akala is fucking good. I've been watching the Dropout about the fucking CEO of Theranos. That shit's fucking wild. And we started watching just before it came on here. Started watching the one with Jared Leto playing the CEO of WeWork. So I'm getting on that kick of fraudulent billionaires doing shit, which is fun because you get to see how terrible these fucking despicable people are, which is always good. The Theranos one does not pull its punches. She does not come out of that looking any shade of good or relatable in any way. Amanda Seyfried in that is very good. Like, she's fucking incredible in that series. I'd recommend it. I already knew that. For anyone who doesn't know the story of Theranos, this isn't a spoiler. It was in the fucking news. Basically, this woman invented a way to. Big Short's good. It's less in the Big Short vein. I can see how you might, because the Big Short tends to follow the Big Short follows the people who are sort of discovering the fraud, whereas these shows follow the people doing the fraud, and they're like, these people are despicable, all of them, uniformly, and like it's good because it's not just the people that are terrible. It like shows how everyone, like the investors, nobody really knows what they're doing or what they're talking about. They're all just taken in by these basically door-to-door salesmen who are coming up with bullshit, And it was very good at showing, because the big thing about Theranos, one of the big things was that the woman was like, I'm a self-made billionaire, and like I think it's in the first episode, it's like she says, oh, I'm only getting by on raising $6 million from my parents. And it's like, okay, there we go, self-made billionaire. Which is it's very fun to watch and kind of cathartic. Trying to think what the last movie. Maybe the last movie I watched might have been Venom 2, which is straight up one of the gayest films I've ever seen in my life, and I mean that in a positive way. It's very gay, and I enjoyed it a lot. Has anyone seen Venom 2? It's very fun. Venom comes out, basically. And that's great. Yeah, just a small startup fund of 6 million. It's worse than Amazon. Amazon's, it's like was it like $600,000 he got from his parents to start Amazon? Bezos? Something like that. Have I seen The Laundromat? About the Panama Papers scandal. Was the Laundromat, was that the one that had Meryl Streep in it, playing lots of different roles? Oh! I did see the Batman. Did we talk about the Batman? I can't remember. We talked about the Batman on last stream, I think. Yeah. We talked about the Batman last stream, I think, but yeah, the Venom film is very gay, in a very good way. I enjoyed that. Yeah, informed of the gay. Yeah. The second Suicide Squad was, yeah, I enjoyed the second Suicide Squad when I saw it. I thought it was good. Have we talked about Boba Fett on the stream before? I don't know. I can't remember if we talked about that. That was a show that frustrated me. Oh, I would not worry about being lost in the Venom film, man. It's like, the plot of those films is paper thin. You don't have to worry about it. You're not gonna miss any understanding, really. I watched Peacemaker. Yeah, I had mixed feelings about Peacemaker as well. I thought it was a bit confused in what it was trying to say in the end. I thought like it was largely good, but you know, still having a show where like ostensibly the white supremacists are the baddies, but also another group of baddies are a group of aliens invading and influencing the population secretly is maybe not ideal. Even if those aliens are like, oh, we're gonna, actually maybe especially if those aliens are like, oh, we're going to benevolently control the government. You're like, oh, okay, this is maybe not ideal. Yeah, and I thought there was a lot to like about Peacemaker. I thought Peacemaker would have been, so I think Peacemaker would have been better if it was completely unconnected from the Suicide Squad films. Because I think like knowing those two characters from the same sort of milieu kind of muddies the water a little bit on what it's trying to say. I thought it was enjoyable. That fucking title sequence is to die for. I love that. It was funny. Yeah, I enjoyed lots of it. It's just, I thought, kind of like the Batman, there are bits and pieces of it which could have been fixed easily, and that makes it a little bit frustrating. Just like if people had thought a bit more clearly about what they're trying to do. The Boba Fett show was terrible. That show was. And I think actually the Boba Fett show also has that same problem where like there are enough elements there that you can see that there's a good show in there, and they just hadn't managed to dig it out yet, and it was a confused and confusing mess that had no payoff at all for anything, and it was just, yeah, it was a bad show in the end, which is frustrating because, like, you wanted it to be good, and it had lots of elements there, but it was not. Go to. I'm. Thank you for staying up to watch. Koba's been standing, but you got to sleep. Sleep's important. Thanks for coming along. Yeah. One of the main things that frustrated me, like, I wouldn't have minded as much the Boba Fett show, but I was like, it wasn't just bad itself, but it made the other show, it made The Mandalorian worse. Like, the whole, like, 2 episodes of The Mandalorian, it's like, to have, like, the full emotional resonance of the last episodes of The Mandalorian, where he gives away his fucking, his Yoda son to Luke Skywalker, and then that whole, like, conflict or issue is solved in a different show in 2 episodes is just bad. That's just a bad way of dealing with the storytelling, right? Yeah, it was a huge disappointment. Like, okay, here's my pitch for how they could have made Boba Fett better. This is what we're gonna do. We're doing script doctoring again from a guy who has no idea what he's talking about, who's slightly drunk and doesn't know what they're saying. This is the fucking script doctor territory. So here's how you make Boba Fett good. Flashbacks, get them over and done with. 1 episode. That's all we need. We don't need that. We can establish. First episode, you can get Boba Fett trying to set up as a crime lord, whatever. Fun. Second episode, you can sort of establish the stuff with the sand people, even if it's kind of iffy, in a sort of dances with wolves kind of way. Get that done with. And then you introduce the fucking, what's his name, Cad Bane. You introduce that character, Cad Bane, who wants to do things in a more brutal way, along with the other crime lords that are trying to take Boba Fett down. And you get some sort of crime intrigue, who's this character, whatever. You establish a relationship between these 2 characters, and he's trying to drag him more towards his old, brutal Boba Fett ways. There you go, you got some conflict set up. Next stage, you want the Mandalorian in? Get the Mando in. Mando's all about honour and stuff like that, which is reminding him of his roots back as a Mandalorian himself, and as his connections to the Tusken Raiders. You get the honour stuff set up, and then you've got a conflict between these 2 competing tensions, pulling him in different ways, and then you play it out and you fucking do the shit, whatever. And in the last episode, when you actually have the fight between Cad Bane and Boba Fett, it actually has some emotional stakes when he kills him, or when he defeats him in the way of the Tusken Raiders, which he does, and then you have some, like, emotional and thematic resonance at work. There, done, easy, fucking. Not introduce this big baddie that we're supposed to care about in the second last episode. What's that about? Who thought, oh, this is a great idea? Everybody knows what's going on. Everyone knows the established lore of the fucking 9 series of the animated show, The Clone Wars, and we'll all get the fucking emotional resonance of this death as it happens. It was, oh god, I'm gonna get myself angry if I start thinking more about that show in the very many ways in which it was clumsy. Yeah, best time to fix media is when half cut. That is exactly right. Who? I mean, clearly the writers were on something when they were doing it. When they thought of, okay, what was going on with the fucking speed bike gang in that show? Cause I feel like they would be interesting in a different Star Wars context, like where they were in a city, but like I don't want these 1960s mods in their moped scooters doing their spin shooting. What was that about? They were every scene they were in, it was just the most cringe-worthy shit, and the action sequences were terrible. Oh god, that show was bad. Cad Bane was good, was fan service, and that was it, and that's the issue, because Cad Bane could have been great fan service and an emotional linchpin for conflict within the show. That would have made sense, right? Like, rather than just being fan service. Because like I watched it, I was like, oh, here's Cad Bane, okay, that's cool, I guess. And then he gets killed, and you're like, all right, I guess that's all we're seeing of Cad Bane. He does shit and then dies. Yeah, it was bad. Space war stuff. I don't know Star Wars. Yeah, the car chases that were just slow. It was bizarre. My particular theory is that they put all the effort, all the eggs into the Obi-Wan Kenobi basket to make sure that wasn't shit. That they just stopped caring about the Boba Fett show and let it kind of run wild, because I don't know how else that would have happened. More wine. I think I've been meaning to talk about the Boba Fett show on stream for a while. Neoliberalism and Star Wars, right? I'm sure I could probably fart out a neoliberalism and Star Wars fucking video. Oh god, I know I could. I know I could do that. Especially with reference to the prequels. Ah, fuck. I know I could do that. That's annoying. I don't know how much Star Wars, but I saw a video recently about how directly it just copies Hero with a Thousand Faces and the flaws of... I've never seen Hero with a Thousand Faces. One of the early problems I had with Boba Fett was that the first, like, the episodes with the Tusken Raiders is just Dances with Wolves. And it's like, this is not good. I don't know how they thought this was good. This is not a good idea to do it like that. Oh, and the parkour. Yeah, the parkour. That was so bad. Yeah, I mean, bad show. Neoliberalism in the Star Wars sounds like a great topic. I mean, the problem is that, like, the Star Wars movies, I know people have tried to rehabilitate the prequels. They're bad, right? We're clear here that these are bad movies, the prequels. And George Lucas has a confused idea of politics and how things like fascism happen. And like, in any sort, like, if you want to talk about if you want to do a neoliberal sort of content analysis of Star Wars, you're gonna have to treat those themes that he's haphazardly trying to get through on their own terms, and that would just annoy me. I'd just be, because I've done enough of these late night chats talking about the Star Wars prequels on Zoom with friends, like 3 a.m. about like how the Star Wars prequels are good actually, and I'm like, you fuck, they're not. They're not good. Stop being contrarian. To actually make, I've done too much of that to actually make a video. See, I don't even think the prequels are so bad they're good. I remember I watched them a couple. It's been a few years now. I think I watched them at the start of the first lockdown. I watched all 3 prequels, and what strikes you about them is that they're just really boring. Like, a lot of the time they're not even so bad they're good. They're just incredibly dull, and you're just watching it and just like dropping off, falling asleep. That's one of the major problems with the prequels, um, like you get the memes and shit. Like when someone says, "Oh," when he says, "Oh, no, this is pod race," and you get to go, "Hey, he said it, said the thing," and then you feel a little bit hollow on the inside, and you move on. Hannah Bird just saying, I think growing up loving Red Dwarf and Hitchhiker's Guide to Galaxy spoiled any chance of enjoying Star Wars for me, except for The Mandalorian. And I never got into Red Dwarf. It was a show I never liked, was Red Dwarf, and I just never got into it. Yeah, I mean, H Bomber Guy's done the world a disservice with the prequels are good actually. Shit, they're not. They're just not. I mean, if you can get meaningful stuff out of them, more power to you. But they're not good. Neoliberalism in Star Wars is interesting, mainly about how the profit motive screws up blockbuster cinema in general. The in-fiction world has too many different voices to analyse properly. I think what you could probably, I mean, these are like height of new, like these were made sort of that transitory period between in like the New Labour, the Bush, Clinton era. So there's going to be some politics which seeps into that, which is interesting enough to analyse and what's going on. Harrison John debate about the prequels, man. Yeah. Answer my emails, one more guy. I've been tweeting you for years, and you've not responded. A version of Stan where it's just Stan talking about how the prequels are crap, and why won't you write me back? Beef. You're all beef mongers, every one of you. I mean, it wouldn't be much of a debate, like, because it's hard to debate something when one side is, obviously right, which is my side. Let's try another song. I'm feeling another song. See you later, Aranok. Thanks for popping by. I feel like this is the soundtrack for sitting on a beach with friends. That's nice. Is it someone talk about The Expanse? Is that Miller from The Expanse? Yeah. This is my attempt to do some trad inspired track, but it's not worked out too great. It's okay, but I think we're gonna move on from this one to something a bit more fun. It's kind of nice. It's a bit sedate, but it's not what I was after. Drum beat. Let's start with a drum beat. What are we feeling? I don't know what to do. I've run out of ideas already. What should we do? Which show was it? The Expanse is. Which one had Space Jon Snow in it? I like The Expanse. I've not watched the last season yet. Yeah. Let's see. That's quite fun. That's quite a fun one. It's very kind of spacey. Happy with letting that loop for a bit. Sounds like a break in a 2001 era Muse song. I'm into that. I can dig it. Didn't go with any drums, unfortunately. Tried to get it with some drums, but didn't go. Sing, little guitar, sing, exactly. Fairly getting through this wine at this point. Oh, thank you. We were talking about this shirt earlier because Kean, my friend, came in and called me clean shirt, which is incredibly rude of him. I like this shirt as well. It was at my sister's while I was booted out of London for a couple of years. So it's the first time I've worn it. Yeah, I mean, I know, I know I'm a stereotype. I was a teenager in the mid 2000s who thought it was edgy. Of course, I like Muse. I'll still fuck with Muse. Even the thing about Muse, like, they're bad, right? We're all aware of this, that they are bad. Thank you for sticking around, HLW. It's been a pleasure having you. Yeah, Muse are bad. But I still I'll still fuck with them, even to this day. Like the thing is that they're Matt Bellamy is not the sharpest man in the world, and the fucking lyrics of every Muse song is a 14-year-old who's just read 1984 for the first time. That's all it is. He's read that. I'm sure he's read that. I mean, I still think, especially what was their last album was the Simulation Theory. So there is one thing I've noticed about Muse is they do tend to chase trends a bit. So they did remember they released that dubstep tune in like 2012, about 3 years late to dubstep. So their last album was a bit late to some of the more electronic stuff, but it's still like fucking some of the songs in that. If you ignore the lyrics, some of the songs in that track are fucking great, man. Like they just like great tracks, interesting music to actually listen to if you don't listen to the lyrics. And just like they know how to craft a banger, and I won't apologise for it. I still fuck with Muse. Yeah. Oh, the Caritas, yeah. I saw Muse in two of the best gigs I've ever seen, and they're not the two best, but two of the best shows I've ever seen. Hey, the big bad skeptical wolf, welcome. Yeah, two of the best shows I ever saw. On the one hand, Martin, I did Newborn for my standard grade guitar exam, so I like that song. Yeah, I saw Muse in 2012, and it was fucking brilliant. It was a absolutely great show. They know how to put on a show. It was lights and fireworks, fucking everything. It was great. A few weeks later, I saw Vintage Trouble. Anyone heard Vintage Trouble? They're sort of blues rock band from California. And I saw them in like a tiny little venue in 2012, and they were I've seen them twice now. They were fucking brilliant. And like the opposite way from Muse, they had no lights, no show, no everything, but just like at points one point the fucking singer did a crowd surf while doing a handstand. That sort of shit. They were great. So that's like the two sort of ends of the great live show kind of vibe. Either got the big lights and big everything, or you've got the ridiculously charismatic frontman who dives into the crowd and does handstand crowd surfs. That's the two ends. I can forgive Matt Bellamy most things because he can sing the "ay" without his voice cracking. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, it is wild. Another one of the best gigs I ever saw. Another quick question: am I a Marxist? I mean, yeah. Yeah. Big bad skeptical wolf in a more direct sense. My specific brand of Marxism is more of a if you've been paying attention to some of the stuff, it's more social reproduction theory, which is a specific branch of Marxism, which I tend to draw on these days. But yeah, yeah, one of the best live shows I ever saw was. There we go. I was in New Orleans and went to this jazz show, and like the band was just in the crowd, like not all together. It wasn't like there was a crowd round the band, but we were just sitting waiting for the thing to start. We're all just standing up drinking our beers, and then the show started, and the people were just in this crowd. The singer was just in the middle of it, and all the brass were everywhere. It was incredible. It was one of the best gigs I've ever seen. Yeah, great. Social what here? So yeah, exactly. Social reproduction. Yeah. Do you want me to say it again slower? Reproduction. This is my new ASMR stream where I just say the word reproduction slowly, repeatedly into the microphone. Fuck, I'm getting drunk. Yeah. It wasn't a flash mob because we were there to see the band. We just weren't sure, like there wasn't a stage or anything. And we were like, where are they gonna? We assumed that they were just gonna like set up on the floor or whatever, but they were just in the crowd. It was great. It was fucking great. No worries. Jory reveals reality. In 2016, I went to a Muse gig, and Nothing But Thieves opened for them. At that time, I hadn't heard them, and they blew me away. I still haven't heard them. One thing, I mean, I wish I'd seen Muse when fucking Tom Morello was opening for them. That would have been good. Why am I reproducing? We're all reproducing, aren't we? I was talking on the train down the other day. Train back down from Edinburgh, met this person on the train, and we got talking, and we ended up sort of talking about like what you would name your self-help book if you had to like create a bullshit self-help book in like the sort of School of Life, Jordan Peterson kind of way. How would you do it? What would your self-help book be called? And I can't remember exactly what came out to the top of my head, but it was like you could name it something like Brick by Brick, Building the Foundations to a Healthy Life. Things like that. That sort of bullshit where you can just like... It needs to be like meaningless aphorism, meaningless aphorism. And that's how you build your self-help book title. And I do feel like I could probably write a self-help book as a shit post, but like the chicken run video, I'd worry that people would take it incredibly seriously and start following my edicts. I might accidentally start a cult, and I do not need the stress of starting a cult right now. I have a lot of stuff on my plate, and I cannot be starting a cult. If you see the meaning of reproduction on stream, yeah. We all love that word. This is the equivalent. Anytime someone says reproduction, right? And this is when a biology teacher says organism and people giggle because they think they say orgasm. That's what you're like, you school children. Chicken run for the soul. Exactly. I had a friend send me a message the other day of just like just saying I was scrolling YouTube and I came across this video and it was my chicken run video, and they're just like, what the fuck is this, John? What are you doing with your life? This is what you're doing. I like it's an odd thing when people in your meat life come across the digital life stuff and they're like, what the fuck is this? Calling off the cult meetings, yeah, I'm afraid the cult, I don't have time for the cult. No, Jerry reveals, don't worry, it wasn't you, that was directed at the person who was talking about seizing the means of reproduction. Oh no. Bethany Rogers. So close to banning. If I knew how to ban people on a stream, and if you could, fucking hell for that. Set 13 steps to creating your own cult. This is taking strange turns today. Like normally by this stage I'm ranting about some piece of media, but we got that sort of done earlier, so now we're talking about cults and fucking. This is the dialectic, cults and fucking. This is what we can name this track, cults and fucking. Fuck. And the French. This is the problem. The chat's on delay, so like 3 to 5 minutes after I've said some like absolute bullshit, I get the replies from chat, and it sets me off again. Anything from chat, anything that anyone is interested to chat about, anything they want, they're desperate for my opinion of, me, a random person that holds very little expertise outside of little things. Did I get a haircut since last stream? Looks different. I did get a haircut, yes. Either that or I pulled the hair back inside me with sheer willpower. I did get a haircut, yeah. It's part of my yearly shearing. It's much shorter. It's a bit too spiky at the moment. I prefer it when it's a little less spiky, but you know, Bart Simpsoning it up. The usual combination of cult and sex. I guess so. Cult, sex, and death. Cult, sex, and death. That's the name of my self-help book. How do I keep my cult from reproducing capitalism? Thank you. Thank you, Jory Reveals Reality. That's very kind. Honestly, my take on Fridays for Future uninviting white musicians with dreads. I'm not sure what that is. Presumably a music festival that uninvited people for having white people for having dreadlocks. I mean, as someone who's militantly against white people having dreadlocks, because, you know, it's the worst, and the people who have them are the worst. I would be amazed if many black people gave a shit enough about it to disinvite them to a music festival. Like, I don't know. It would depend on the context for that. I don't know anything about it, so can't really give an informed answer there. What books have I been reading lately? Oh, started reading Gender Trouble by Judith Butler, which is extremely good. I'm very much enjoying that. Read, what are the things I've read recently? The word for world is forest. Read Ursula Le Guin, which is fucking great. I've did a review on that on Patreon for patrons, and that's extremely good. First bit of fiction I've read in ages. Outside of that, I've been reading a lot on for the next video on disability. Been reading a lot of disability stuff. So Marta Russell's Disability and Capitalism, Crip Theory by Robert McClure, very good. Yeah, all of that is excellent stuff. Do I prefer light questions or heavy? Yeah, shove a question in the chat, whatever your question is. Either way, if I don't want to answer it, I just won't answer it. If it's light, it's like, whatever, we will deal with it. If I fire your questions in, I'm not going to be offended by a question. I just won't answer it if I don't want to. I'm very glad to hear that. Hannah Burgess. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that. I tried to cite from a wide array of stuff. It's an environmental movement getting people to act morally when it comes to the environment. I mean, it seems weird to me, maybe, to exclude people that, like it's obviously not my place to decide these things. It seems like an odd choice, and I mean, the main problem, white people in dreadlocks, it just doesn't look good. Like, stop doing it. It's not beyond the cultural appropriation issue. It's a bad look. You immediately look like a dick. And I immediately assume you're incredibly posh if you're white and wearing dreadlocks. So that, I mean, I'd be nice not to see any of them. But it's maybe not. I don't know if it's necessarily a huge political sort of fucking strategy to work through. Bethany Rogers, I tried Gender Trouble, but I got 10 pages in and then I had to go back to the library. I can understand that. It surprised me how readable, particularly the prefaces. The prefaces by in the version I've got, Butler's preface, I think it was like 2010, it must have been a reprint. They did a preface and it was amazing. It's like a barnstorming preface. It does get complex early on. Lots of post-structuralist language. I have read enough and I'm imbued enough or immersed enough in that sort of world, especially in like Foucauldian shit, just through virtue of my research, that I find it not too difficult for me personally, and that's not a reflection of my reading ability or anything. It's just because I happen to work in this sort of similar-ish areas in some respects as the book is coming from, and the sort of intellectual sort of tradition in which the book is coming, in terms of like its written style. So I find it quite a good read for me, but I can very much understand why someone who's not immersed in that kind of literature and that kind of language would find it challenging. even like other academic, like I can see how a Marxist would find, like a Marxist who hasn't been immersed in post-structuralist sort of language, I can imagine how they would find a lot of it difficult to deal with, or even just fucking anyone, a historian might find it challenging, but yeah, it's a very specific kind of language that can be difficult to read. I don't know much in depth about British politics. Are most people in Parliament born into it and some elected? Born into it. So I guess like in the UK politics, in the UK Parliament, you've got two parliaments. You've got the House of Commons, House of Lords. House of Lords, I think it's a third of the House of Lords are lifetime peers, which means that their parents, usually their father, was a lord and they inherit it. But the number of lifelong peers has dropped. So, and the House of Lords doesn't have a whole lot of power. House of Commons, you do have to contest elections, so you're not born into it. But there is a lot of nepotism and a lot of people who are born rich get into Parliament. Lots of landlords as well. Best books to read. Depends on what you're looking for. My favourite fiction book is The Dispossessed, another Ursula Le Guin book. It's one of my favourite books I've ever read. Best fiction books, things like The Dispossessed, Poisonwood Bible and The Lacuna by Barbara Kingsolver, both great. Love those books. Orange is Not the Only Fruit. It's a great book. What else? I really like Brave New World as well. And The Kraken by China Melville is a great book. In terms of fiction, non-fiction, it's just you'd have to give me what you're looking for before I can answer that. My life has not changed a lot since Brexit. Brexit has been fundamentally overshadowed by the global pandemic. To be honest, Brexit. I have to get a new passport because my passport's out of date and it will be blue. I don't think it's really affected all that much. Things like Erasmus schemes and connections to other. It's not all kicked in yet, so it's not hugely affected my life. I am not familiar with Twin Rabbit. We're on the White and Dreadlocks. White and Dreadlocks. So I remember when I went to Brighton first time I went to Brighton, I was on edge the whole time because I knew I was going to see the energy at Brighton. You're going to see a white guy with dreads. First white guy with dreads I saw was wearing a fucking bright red shirt and a waistcoat, and I was like, you fucking... this is the worst. Just stop doing this to me. Am I a fan of Zizek? No. I think his work is bad. Let me qualify that. I've read not a whole lot of his work. Of the work of his that I've read, it's been bad. I read The Courage of Hopelessness, and it was one of the worst books I've ever read in my life. Not just because it was virulently Islamophobic, but it was just poorly argued, poorly written, saying nothing. And Zizek, at that point, Zizek was someone that people had recommended to me a lot, and I was like, I guess I'll read him. And I was just thoroughly unimpressed. And then with the recent stuff, his new magazine, I was like, what's the fucking point of you? I remember his debate as well with Jordan Peterson, where he spent half the time agreeing with Jordan Peterson, and I was like, this is bad. This is not someone that we want in our corner. And I also know someone who, as part of their PhD, did a summer school at Zizek's institution, and was like tutored by Zizek. And the report from that was that Zizek was a bad teacher and was incredibly racist. So, so not a big fan of Zizek. Oh, hello, Keane's back. Vast majority of MPs go to same-sex private schools, yeah. Yeah, Orange is Not the Only Fruit is great. It's a really great book. Yeah, that white dread and combo. One of my favourite things about Zizek is that, and I say favourite, what I mean is one of the bad things about him that I think is funny, is that he is constantly just making shit up, like quotes, random quotes that he's attributing to people that they never said, and there's no knowledge of where he got them from. He just makes shit up and gets away with it. What's the fucking why? Why are you doing this? Yeah, not a fan. I can understand why he's liked because he's funny, and he is funny. But yeah, I don't think he's good. What do I think will or should come out of the doubling of energy prices? Well, will or should is different. I mean, I don't like making predictions about what's going to happen. What should? I mean, what we can do is try and do riots. Not that I'm on youtube.com advocating for riots. But you know, sometimes collective action works. What I think will happen is that a lot of people are going to die, which is not very bright or happy. Yeah, Keane, you're right. That the Zizek-Peterson debate was a lot of just Zizek agreeing with Peterson, which, given the new publication that he's involved in, is unsurprising. Yeah. I'm gonna change up the music and see what we can do. This might be. I think we've got a little bit more wine left. We'll see if we can maybe make another track and see what comes up. Oh, wine is getting warm, so we're gonna have to finish it off. I heard yesterday that the UK issued like 480 billion in bonds over the course of the pandemic, which almost all ended up in untaxable pockets of the UK elite. That's what's driving inflation. I can't speak to what's driving inflation. I'm not an economist, but yeah, the huge amounts of the government bailout. I mean, this is one of the reasons why the idea that neoliberalism ended with the pandemic is one of the bullshit things that indicate the bullshit of that. All that government money went into private hands, supporting and upholding class positions and market systems. It's just what happened during the pandemic. Even things like in the UK, the furlough scheme was all funneled through private hands. Yeah, it's fucking out. The amount of money that private people, the wealthiest and private hands got from the government throughout the pandemic. Not just normal folk who got a £20 a week universal credit raise. Disabled people got fuck all, and private hands were just fucking taking everything from the government. Similarly, like the way that the COVID test and trace centres were all funneled through private hands. Privatisation of NHS services continued unabated throughout the pandemic. This is part of what I wrote my peer-reviewed academic paper on back in about a year ago since I got published. Yeah, it's fucking wild. It's ridiculous. The more incomprehensible I am, the smarter I am. It's true. Let's do some music. I'm feeling we need to pick things up a bit, so I'm going to do something to pick us up. Okay, it's a good tempo. Hiya, Davil. Yeah, this is chilled out funk tracks to study slash relax to. John the fucking fuck. I love that so much. Yeah. Yeah, I like that one. That's a fun little track. Do I know of Benjamin Caroleo, part of a music club? No knowledge of that person at all. Sounds interesting. I'm so fucking white on this, and so look at me, reflecting light like a fucking. You know, you could probably put me in. There we go. That's better. I it's been a while since I've had time. When I used to be in bands, I've not had time to be in bands anymore. I miss that. Yeah. I am going to pop. I'll be back in 1 minute. I'm just going to pop to the toilet. Don't go insane and chat while I'm gone, but see you now. Returned with a cat. cat is purring like crazy. He likes dancing. What he wants to do is eat my headphones, because he's a fucking menace. That's right, you are. The thing is, he doesn't let you just like pick him up, just like do what you want with him. It's getting amazing. The cat, it's my flatmate's cat. Yeah, I didn't name him. He's called Anton. Oh, it's so fun letting the cat dance, isn't it? Hello. Okay, you got my headphones. He's a menace. The thing is, he's gonna cause some trouble. He's gonna cause trouble, and he's like, you can see, look at his face. That's a cat who wants to cause trouble. What he likes to do, the things he likes to do, is he likes to murder my mum got me this this little Christmas tree decoration of a cat for Christmas. This cat likes to fucking destroy it. And he also likes to kipe over my plants. I've had like 2 different plants that don't eat my headphones. Don't eat my. They're not for eating. No, let go. Don't. Oh, you're purring there as well. He is a little bastard. Fucking hell. I don't know if anyone saw this, anyone who follows me on Twitter. The other day, this fucking bastard, right? This wanker right here, just torpedoes at me from across the other side of the room, headbutts me in the balls, then runs off, all happy and proud of himself. And I posted this on Twitter, saying this little asshole just headbutted me in the balls and then ran off. I got this guy in my comments going crazy at me for hours, being like, "You're the reason why people get rid of their cats. Cats aren't assholes. He was just marking you." And it was like, well, if he was just marking me, he was being an asshole about it. Because it hurt. And like, he is an asshole. I've met him. I've met other cats who are a bit less of assholes, but this guy, right here, this fucking guy, he's a bit of a prick, if I'm honest. He's lovely. He is a prick. I just have to be honest about that. Stop it. No, you can't listen. Chat's not even in there. Alright, okay. We're gonna chuck you out. Okay, we've reached the end of the wine. We're gonna chuck you out. And then we're gonna draw the stream to a close. Hey, I didn't have him neutered. It wasn't me that had him neutered. It's my, like I said, my flatmate's cat. I would have had him neutered if he was my cat. He is an asshole. Right. 2 seconds. Say bye. Say bye to everyone. Alright, there he goes. The wee bastard. What's the time? It's 10 to 11. Shall we give it, we'll give it 10 more minutes. So we'll see anything anyone desperately wants to talk about. we'll try and eke this out to 11 o'clock, so we get this in a 3 hours of stream. That's a good stream length. Yeah. We're named after, I think it was Anton Chekhov, was it? I think it was named. He's just got these new fish toys that he destroys, that he loves. He's a fucking idiot though. Last time I promised scotch. Will I drink? Okay. I have to do work tomorrow, so just have a wee one. No. Okay, just a small one. How tall am I, if I'm comfortable sharing? I'm 6'4", or 194 centimeters tall. I'm a long person. There we go. Wee whiskey, just a wee one. I got these. I stole this. I was gonna put it in the wine glass, but I specifically stole these glasses from a pub because I like having a whiskey glass, and drinking whiskey from a wine glass is bad. It just feels sophisticated drinking on a Thursday night if you're drinking it from a whiskey glass. Student strikes. Yeah, it's been a hefty week of student activism. Yeah, it's bad. The student strikes. Days off after the stream. I mean, I'm hoping to finish a script, or at least a draft of a script tomorrow. John the Duncan Ivyfield, yeah. Yeah, it's been a big week for student activism and UCU stuff as well. I always pop by the picket lines when I can, even though my institution isn't on strike. Yeah, I'm a long person, chat. There's a lot to me. It's funny. I had to, like, people. It doesn't happen as much anymore. But like about this time last year, when I still had, like, when I was still using a webcam for my camera. Must have been the angle of it. People just used to assume I was like 5'6", which is funny. I never had people assume I was short before. And like the folk who would give you abuse, you have the odd person who gives you abuse, like, why would a short person like you? I bet you just wish that you were an alpha like such and such. And I'd just be like, this is very, very weird for people to be accusing me of being short. It's not something that's ever happened before. Yeah, there's no strikes in my uni, but my uni is in an area with lots of universities, so there's always picket lines going. So I always make sure to try and get along to the picket lines at some point and show a little bit of solidarity. Yeah, shit time. I was by the student strikes the other week, about 2 weeks ago. Went by the student day of action. Hey, glad this has been a good way to start your day. Whiskey is not a curse drink. Whiskey is nice, tastes nice, and whiskey's good. I got called a little man before. I think. So the thing is, like, that would make sense. Like, it makes sense for the trolls. They're like, oh, they have weird shit about masculinity and tallness and whatever. But this is for, like, folk who are like friends that I met online and shit as well, who just assumed that I gave off a short energy, which I find quite entertaining. Oh, yeah, I mean, soft and on. Famous grouse is not good. You know what fucking... This happened about a year ago and I'm still smarting about it. About a year ago, maybe less than that, I bought this, about like 7 months ago, while I was still living with my parents. I bought this like really nice, it was like Speyside whiskey or something. It was a really nice whiskey. And I bought it because I was going like hill walking, going hiking with some friends, and I thought, oh, it'd be good to have some whiskey once we get to the top of the hill, take some nips while we're up there, it'll be lovely. We didn't use all that much of it because everyone brought loads of booze and we were fine. So I had this big bottle of whiskey, and I went away for a weekend. And when I came back, my dad was like, "Oh, I had some of your whiskey." No. This is two stories actually. Two stories are folded into one. So in the first one, for my birthday last year, my brother got me some Orkney whiskey. And I went away for a weekend, and when I got back, my dad said, "Oh, I've just drank some of your whiskey, don't worry, I'll replace it." And a few weeks later he comes back and he gives me a glass of famous grouse. And he's like, "Oh, I really like grouse actually, it's really nice. Sometimes I just order grouse." I was like, "You fucker, you've just given me grouse after drinking half of my nice birthday whiskey." And then a few months later, got this nice Speyside whiskey, and he comes upstairs and he asked me if I've got any whiskey. I was like, "Yeah, I got this one, it's really nice." And do you want me to pour you a glass? And he was like, "No, just give me the bottle." And he takes the bottle downstairs, drinks 2/3 of this whiskey, and he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I got a bit carried away, I'll replace it." A few weeks later, again, he comes with famous grouse. Fucker. Famous grouse, like, it's just bad. He swears it's good. Hey, CGAQ, we are doing alright. We are reaching the end of the stream. It's not a whiskey night, we've had wine. This is just a wee bit of whiskey to cap off the stream. What is it about dads and grouse? It's not good. Nobody thinks grouse. Nobody's like, "Oh, I'll have a lovely grouse." It's like paint stripper. Nobody likes it except dads. This is the dad bullying zone. Have you got a dad that you want bullied? Call me and I'll bully him. Fucking dads, Jesus Christ. Nobody likes grouse. They're lying to you. Perverts. Anyone who's wondering, this is Bunnahabhain, which is nice. It's maybe a bit too sweet for me. It's not nice and smoky. I've got some Talisker in there, but there's not a whole lot of that left, and I'll save that for when I'm not already kind of pissed on a bottle of wine. Talisker is ideal. It's my favourite. The Bunnahabhain is good as well. Isn't grouse a type of angry bird? I mean, it's a bird that people shoot My dad would never be appalled that I got drunk on anything, because my dad has done worse things than I will ever do. Maybe not. He's done bad things. I mean, for anyone who doesn't know, grouse is a blended whiskey. So when you've got different types of whiskey. You've got single malts, which are like, they tend to be the better whiskies. You have a single batch of I don't know how they do it, but you've got a single batch, and then you age it in a cask, and then you've got a single malt. A blended whiskey is when you've got different sort of stuff. I think it's in different casks, and then they blend it together and they make something that's passable. Something like Famous Grouse or White and McKay's. That's a bad one. Yeah, and that's the worst stuff. Oh, I don't know if anyone saw. I got my dad. Me and my brother and my sister. My brothers and my sister got my dad an accordion for his. He turned 70 in January. We got him an accordion because we're making him a stereotypical old man. And I got a wee video of him playing his wee accordion. This week. It's nice. He's very chuffed with himself. Yeah, I mean, a single malt is better. Like, it just is. I don't think rum is the best spirit, but I do like a rum. We've come fucking full circle, and we're back at booze again. I think other people have smart streams, and it's just booze for days, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, hey, Michael Pinkman, welcome to the stream. You've caught it just at the end. We're not going on for much longer. We're just talking about whiskies. Yeah. I do like a rum as well, though. I mean, maybe I shouldn't tell this on stream. Cat's gone. Cat's. My flatmate's got my cat cuddled up. Well, I'm gonna be vague enough in this story that I can tell it. New Year time. Person one of the people I was spending with New Year's with, turned to me and said, I really want to get drunk tonight. I've not been drunk on New Year for ages. I really want to get drunk tonight. And I was like, I can help you with that. Because I just made this picture of, like, what was in this? It had Malibu, it had spiced rum, it had vodka, it had JD, it had fucking tequila, it had a little bit of gin, it had some Smirnoff, and topped off with some fruit juice. And the person I was with took one cup of this, then spilled a whole load of champagne all over the table, started licking it up. So I was like, okay, already we're in a different level. And then she took another drink of this and was fucked. She was being sick in the toilet. It was a shame, but the rum was good. Last time was all about oat milk. Yeah, it was about oat milk. I've forgotten about that. Oh, it was a lot of things. it was. To be fair to me, it was very tasty. It did taste good. The person I was with had also been drinking, previous to this fucking cocktail of death, had been drinking Baileys and red wine and Prosecco. So things weren't exactly going her way before the jug of death, and I was looking after her while she was being sick because she drank because she drank the Baileys. She was being sick, and just shouting back at me, "The cream! It's the cream!" It's making me fucking just lose it. It was a fun New Year. No Buckfast, I'm afraid. My mum did once make a Buckfast trifle, which was nice. Yeah. I mean, we all had a good night. It was a good time. I got blamed the next day for the state that she was in. For locos. I remember one time. So I studied for a year in South Carolina, and one of the only booze that we could drink without going to the liquor store was for locos that they sold at their corner shop. And one time I hadn't got organised enough to get like booze in from the liquor store. So I was like, oh fuck, I'll have some Four Locos. So I bought four Locos. And drank them all before going out, and then I had a very bad time. The thing is, it's not even the alcohol content for Four Locos. It's like, it's like, it could like dissolve your stomach lining with the acid and sugar that's in it. It's just so bad. I don't know who thought this was a good idea. Yeah, we get them now. You can get a Four Loko in the UK now. I don't know if it's probably not the same recipe. I would go Buckfast edible. Yeah. Four locos, that's 16 locos. Yeah, it's the sugar. The sugar and the fucking... Buckfast, have I done Buckfast? I think I might have done Buckfast jelly shots before. I've done... So for my brothers had a joint 21st and 18th birthday parties, and the night before both of them got beaten up, and they had this joint. The next day they had this joint 21st and 18th birthday party, and they made this big vat of whiskey jelly, and one of my brother's friends just sat and ate the whole vat of it, and then passed out and dropped it. And the next day, when my dad was trying to clear up, he got attacked by a swarm of drunk, angry wasps who'd been eating this whiskey jelly, and were not happy. Alright, that seems like a good note to end on, that kind of petering out of whiskey jelly stories. Shall we call it a night there? Been a fun stream. Almost certainly drank too much. That's what we do here. Dragon soup brings me back to my 15-year-old days. Yeah. We'll call that a day. Yeah. Thanks for coming along to the stream. Always appreciate you. Always enjoy the vibes of the streams. Putting up with whatever shite I'm rambling into the microphone or pissing about on the guitar on. It's always a pleasure. Hope 2 weeks. I'm trying to keep this regular. 2 weeks from now, next stream, and we'll keep up with the vibes. Catch you later. I just